Once again, it's your boys, No Jobbers Allowed, and we coming back at you with another Raw review, this time for Monday Night Raw, January 7th, 2019. And we out here, and as you know, it's me, your boy Big Ish, and with me like always on the mic is...
Man, it is your guy, Irwin. And when they said that they were giving us back Raw, man, they really, really meant it. And we're going to get to talking about a really, really good episode in a few. To start it off, I really liked it, man. What was your beginning synopsis of it?
It kind of threw me for a loop because I wasn't expecting to start off with a brawl. Like, literally just the show starts off with Seth and Bobby brawling. So I didn't know what was going on at first because I thought I missed something because I had flipped it there maybe a minute late. So I didn't know what was going on. But I thought it was a pretty good brawl to start off the show, get everybody exciting, and kind of throw everybody off because you knew John Cena was coming. So I figured he was literally going to start the show. So it's kind of nice to get me off my block and start off with that brawl. So that was a good kind of warning shot letting you know Raw was going to be good.
Dude, it was a fantastic opening. And like Big Ish said, we started off the night with a brawl between Bobby Lashley and Seth Rollins. So again, more continuity from last week. They had all the superstars and officials trying to break it up. They're brawling out. It was really, really good to start it. Up next, after that brawl, we get, like Big Ish alluded to, we get John Cena who comes out, makes his way to a huge pop, man. It's like the fans really missed him, which made him feel special again, man. For a while, on his last run, I didn't feel like John Cena felt as special, and when his music hit, I think the crowd, like you, was so hyped up off of that initial brawl that they were happy to see him, and John Cena comes out.
Don't speak for me, bro. You know I don't like John Cena like that.
You know, man. You know, I'm just saying. I think we appreciated him. It threw a little wrench, a wrench in what's normal.
I don't hate him because I understand. Hey, he's John Cena, 16-time world champion, but he's just not one of my favorites.
One of Ish's, or not one of Ish's favorites, came out, cut a promo because it's WrestleMania time. You know, either step up or get left out. It's that time of the year again. He declares himself eligible for the men's Royal Rumble match. After that, Drew McIntyre interrupts him, cuts a great promo, man. He's been doing really, really good, talking about what he did while he was gone. Pretty much said, you know, he's looking to take out Cena because he's trying to be the man now.
I liked it.
Yeah, it was good.
It was a good promo. I don't know what it is. I will say this for John Cena. He's one of the best promo guys ever in the last about 10 years. He's great. And like you could kind of see him getting McIntyre shook up. Like when McIntyre comes out, hey man, I don't care about who's in your bed, none of that. I just care about your championships. I don't care about your stupid haircut. Oh, you mean this haircut? And that literally stopped all of McIntyre's moment. Literally took the crowd right away from McIntyre.
Dude,
easily.
And you know what that is? I think, you know, I do believe that Cena has a little bit more leeway to go off the script a little bit. Drew wasn't ready for that shit. Drew clearly had a scripted line, and he was, you know, going by a script, which is, again, like we've been talking about for the past 4 months. Let these superstars have casual conversation. It'll flow better.
Because it looked bad for McIntyre. And I don't know, let me rephrase. It caught McIntyre off guard, and it was very noticeable.
Definitely.
Like, it was just noticeable. That's how good Cena was. Like another part in that promo back and forth, John Cena goes, I had to leave just so you guys could have something else to talk about besides me. I heard it all before. Because every lead up to a Cena feud, the guys feuding with him say the same
exact thing. Same thing.
That just shows you how much a promo killer John Cena is. Still don't like him, but I respect him.
Dude, so, you know, after he shook him up, Drew marched down to the ring. He's getting ready to take the torch, as he said. He's going to fight John Cena. When they're about to fight, Lio Rush and Bobby Lashley come from out back. Lio Rush says something to the effect that Seth Rollins has gone crazy. I liked it when he said something that like they're going to threaten legal action and he's going to cancel Raw. Dude, Lio Rush is just magical, man.
It's like he's what you need because the crowd hated him. Like the crowd really hated him in that moment, and that's exactly what you need from Lio Rush. You want the crowd to hate him. You want him to inject a different type of energy, and he did just that. So that was nice right there. I'm glad Lio is getting more and more time on screen because he's magic. He is magic.
That dude is magical. And as he's talking, Seth Rollins comes out, attacks Lashley from behind, and they continue that brawl they started out earlier in the show. Ambrose comes out, attacks Rollins. Cena goes out the ring to go up for Ambrose. Drew attacks Cena. Ambrose and Drew attack Cena. Lashley is beating up Rollins. Then to make the all over save and to make it even.
It was like, I don't know what to describe it because I'm kind of tired of 6-man tag matches, but this was perfect. It had exactly what you needed to do. You needed two people already feuding. You needed two big superstars, and you needed some just odd man out, which was Finn. And it just all came together perfectly.
Yeah, man, I was hyped for it, man. You had John Cena, Finn Balor, Seth Rollins. It added something different that we're not used to seeing, and it was very abrupt and it was kind of surprising. So from there, we had the aforementioned 6-man tag team match, and it was really really good, man. I liked it a lot. Lots of good spots. It ended with Seth Rollins getting the stomp on Dean Ambrose to the pin for the win, and it had everything you could imagine in it. But the real shining star in this match definitely was Seth Rollins.
Yeah, man, it was like I said, man, it was just a good match. I truly, truly enjoyed that match. All the back and forth. All 6 superstars really got to work and work with each other, work with different people, and really made an interesting match, man. It was so dope.
Yeah, it was really, really good. I would urge all the listeners to go back and watch that. So after the match, man, they're all looking up at this big screen. They see Triple H backstage talking to Sasha Banks and Bayley. Seth Rollins runs up the ramp, confronts Triple H, says he wants Dean Ambrose tonight. He wants it for the Intercontinental title. Triple H says he has him. Falls count anywhere. Seth Rollins is getting kind of hyped. Triple H says, "Welcome back, Rollins, man." So this is what they were talking about the past couple weeks with getting that old Rollins back, the one with the fire, the one that wanted to burn everything down, man. So looks like later on tonight we're getting our Intercontinental title rematch that we've been looking for the past couple weeks, or since Rollins has lost that title. Next up, we get Hulk Hogan coming out to pay homage to his friend and the voice of so much of our childhood, the people before us childhood, Mean Gene Okerlund, man. Rest in peace, Mean Gene, man. That was my guy, man. What you got to say about Mean Gene, man?
Man, it's Mean Gene Okerlund, dog.
Oh,
Like,
man.
I muted Hulk Hogan until they showed the video package of Mean Gene, and then I unmuted my TV. So
Yeah,
you
man. They
know what
showed
it
a
is, man.
showed a
I'm Mean
beautiful
Gene all day.
yeah, they showed a beautiful package of Mean Gene, man. And it just showed this man transcends eras. Like from before we started watching wrestling to the Attitude Era to even up to now. He's just been the voice of so many great moments, and he's gotten so many of those classic superstars over with his interview. Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, Mr. Perfect, Macho Man Randy Savage, Ric Flair. We can go on and on about that era, what they call the golden era, but they didn't really need Hulk Hogan for this shit, to be honest with you. Then
I
afterwards,
understand. I understand why they used Hulk Hogan, because if you think Mean Gene, you think Hulk Hogan and Hulkamania
you do.
because they had great interviews. Look, my disgust with Hulk Hogan isn't going to shine a bad light on the Mean Gene because Mean Gene is Mean Gene. I understand why they had to use Hulk Hogan, which is why I just muted my TV while he was talking.
Dude,
That's it.
man, it the Hulk Hogan did what he had to do for the Hulk Hogan fans. He cuts his whole promo, does that. Mean Gene, rest in peace, man. Thank you for all the memories. After the Hulk Hogan
RP.
segment, say again.
I said RIP.
Oh, R.I.P. man, R.I.P. Mean Gene. Next we get the a lumberjack match for the Raw Tag Team titles. The Revival versus Chad Gable and Bobby Roode. Dude, some good work out of these guys, man. I really like the Revival, and I like the way that they're getting really good in ring work when they're allowed to actually showcase some of their talent.
It's been a while since I actually watched a lumberjack match.
Yeah, man, and
I can't think of the last. And once again, listeners, this is because it's been a while since I watched wrestling consistently. Really started back up last year to watching it consistently, but it's been a while since I watched a lumberjack match. But this is the actual lumberjacks was not good. The
no,
match good, but the lumberjacks were trash.
they
Like
just kind of stood
they get
around.
out the ring, they don't beat up the wrestlers and toss them back in. Lucha House Party just lifting, dashing them back into the ring ever so gingerly. Like, what is this? Y'all lumberjacks, y'all post. If you're a heel lumberjack, you beat up the baby face that falls out the ring, you throw him back in, and vice versa. There was times where Bobby Roode and maybe Scott Dawson were literally outside the ring, and not one lumberjack was beating on them and trying to throw them back in the ring.
They didn't touch them.
It was literally a time where Gable and Dash was working and the other two members were outside the ring.
Yeah,
The whole point of the lumberjack matches, you're supposed to be, if you're outside the ring, you're getting beat up by the lumberjacks and get tossed back in. It was the lumberjack gimmick. They didn't need to do the lumberjack gimmick, and the match could have had the same amount of excitement, entertainment without that gimmick.
Yeah, they didn't need the lumberjacks at all, man. Like Big Ish said, but the in ring work was so good, just like Big Ish said. Also, I didn't really like the finish, but I don't know if this is an attempt to kind of put an angle on this storyline or put an angle on this team where Gable got the pin, but Dawson's foot was on the bottom rope. And that means, you're supposed to break the pin, but the referee didn't see it. So the winners and still tag team champions are Chad Gable and Bobby Roode.
I like the ending because you really, really, really got to make them make Revival the Kurt Hawkins of tag teams, man. Just keep making them lose. Just keep making them lose, man. But make them lose controversially every freaking time. If you do that, it'd be perfect. And then you finally get them over to a huge pop it like a pay-per-view.
Yeah, I hope that's what they're doing. I hope they're actually making something out of, because they did make a point to like go into that and they showed it, and hopefully they're making it so that something like that can happen. So I'm not going to downplay it. I'm not going to be angry about it. Wasn't my favorite finish, but hopefully it happens like Big Ish says, and we get something out of all this. Next we get your typical Elias promo where he's out there with the guitar. Then Baron Corbin comes out, interrupts Elias, says something that I'm kind of feeling. He says he can't let the fans stand here and go through another, I think he said, mind-numbing Elias performance. And again, I'm kind of feeling that way, man. I like Elias, but it's the same thing every single week.
I told you this, bro.
Yeah, you did. You did tell me this. You really did.
Like I said, his personality is good, but if that's all you got, it's going to go quick. It's going to get tired quick, at least for me.
and this led up to Baron Corbin versus Elias match. And Baron Corbin ended up winning this by hitting his finisher at the end of days cleanly, like clean.
I
Like,
mean, it's not much to say about this
yeah,
match. It was just,
threw him
and
into the ring post, hit him with the end of days. So I don't
yeah,
know if they're gonna go.
and Raw that was good. I mean, sometimes you just have a bomber of a match.
It was just by
Like
the numbers.
not because of anything Baron did wrong or Elias did wrong. It's just I wasn't
Yeah,
excited.
we weren't into it. So going from that, we get a backstage promo with Dean Ambrose. Love this new Dean Ambrose character. Cutting a promo on Seth Rollins. Then we get Braun Strowman coming out, and he's asking, he's saying he wants to fight. Paul Heyman comes out in the big screen. They tease Brock Lesnar not going out there to confront him. Strowman is still cutting the promo on him. It was your by the numbers for each of the superstars for both Strowman and Lesnar and Paul Heyman. Nothing magical happened. Nothing great happened. Just trying to get us really hyped for the Universal Championship match of the Royal Rumble. I'm very curious to hear your take on this.
Uh, Brian been slowly but surely becoming one of my people that I like promos from. He
Mm-hmm.
does cut a good promo. Then Paul Heyman, he's the one of the best ever. Like when he gets to talking, you captivated. So the only weak link here was Brock, but he did a pretty good job without having to talk that much by going out to the ring, walking around it, then walking away, making you like kind of teasing, getting some action, like pre-match action with Braun, but it didn't work out that way. He got all that heat, all the booze, just walking around the ring and rolling out. So I thought it was okay. And I think they handled it perfectly. Brock don't wrestle on nothing but pay-per-views, so how can you keep your championship title in the picture weeks leading up to it? You got to do more stuff like this. While I wish Brock wasn't no part-timer, you got to just use him for what he's supposed to be used for.
It was decent. It was decent. It was by the numbers. It was nobody did anything extraordinary. Nobody did anything bad. Got us hyped for the Royal Rumble match. Um, Moving on from that particular segment, we get Jinder Mahal and Alicia Fox versus Apollo Crews and Ember Moon. Ember Moon ends up hitting the Eclipse for the win on Alicia Fox. And again, at least they got Apollo Crews on TV. Not in the high profile matches that he's been in the past couple weeks. But it was what it was. Didn't like it, didn't dislike it. And usually I kind of lean towards the dislike with anything having to do with Jinder Mahal and the Singh brothers as of late. So it was what it was.
I mean, it was a good match. Once again, it was another one just to, chain the Raw together, keep it together because they already had huge matches and still had a couple big matches to come. So it's a nice little, give the younger fans who really like, Ember Moon. I love me some Ember Moon. Give people some Apollo Crews face time. Cause I'm hoping Apollo Crews is going to get a push soon. And at least like a mid card push. He ain't even mid card right now. So
No,
some type of mid card push. And I mean, at least in contention for the IC title. So,
because just a couple weeks ago he was fighting Dean Ambrose for the IC
yeah.
title.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I want him to stay on this path because him and Ember, Ember especially deserves it. So it was a good match. I don't really mess with Alicia and Jinder like that. They had some good mixed match challenge matches, so that was good. But other than that, man, it is what it is. So let's go ahead and move on to the next match.
So next we get a segment, or the segment they've been hyping all night. We get a moment of bliss with Alexa Bliss.
Trash.
Another talk show, man. Another talk show. And
It just wasn't good though.
it was not good.
Let
So
me go
yeah,
ahead and
you
speed
can
through
take
this one,
this. Take
please.
it.
Let me breeze through this.
This is all
So
yours.
Alexa Bliss, since she ain't in ring action right now, they give her her own talk show, a la everybody else who ever had a talk show. But this one just isn't as good as, say, Mia's TV. So a moment of bliss starts off with her shouting out, "I want a coffee," you know what I mean, doing her little bratty princess, all that type of attitude that you know Alexa character to be. And then she announces who her first ever inaugural guest will be. And of course, it's the Raw Women's Champion, Ronda Rousey. And so Ronda comes out. She don't shake Lexa's hand. They sit down and they get to talking. Lexa asks some nonchalant, very bland, boring mayonnaise questions. And then she asks Ronda who does she want to actually battle with for the women's title, and Ronda tells her Sasha Banks. She going to say some pleasantries and nice things about Sasha, about how Sasha takes everybody to the limit, and Ronda's about pushing her limit, blase, blase, real bland, boring stuff. And then Nia Jax come out and kind of ruin it. Well, I can't say ruin it because it was already trash, but Nia didn't really add anything of note to it. She was
No.
just bland too, but she was it was trash. So when you rewatch it, understand Big Ish thinks it's trash, but you may not think it because we two different people. So then Sasha Banks come out and interrupts Nia, and Nia say, "Hey, if you want a shot at Ronda, you got to stand in the back of the line." Sasha hits to a big pop of "Bitch, what line?" And they pop, blah, blah, blah. And then Sasha challenges Nia to a number one contenders match, which will be later on in the show. That's all you need to know, people. We don't need to stay on that too much longer. Let's go to the next thing.
Dude, so next thing is that number one contenders match, Nia Jax versus Sasha Banks. And the winner of this match and the new number one contender for Ronda Rousey's title at the Royal Rumble is Sasha Banks, ma'am. And as far as this match goes, again, for me personally, and maybe I'm being overly critical, I thought it was one of the lower points of the show, but it wasn't as bad as I'm going to make it out to be. Um, had some good back and forth action, but this just showed that Nia Jax really isn't ready for these kind of matches, man. She had way too many botches, um, way too many opportunities, or way too many things when I saw that, or when I thought that Sasha Banks was injured or was going to get hurt, or she no sold like the Hurricane Rana part, or the part when she dropped her and hung her up on the top rope. I don't know if it's the way her offense is supposed to look, but it doesn't look devastating. It just looks like it's bad wrestling, man. Um, we also had
Here's the thing: it's I really no one should look good against Nia right now. Nia is supposed to be the irresistible force. Nia should be fucking these women up. Like the one good spot, like when she military pressed Sasha onto the equipment cases,
mhm.
dope. Cause she's powerful. She just called herself a 300-pound Samoan woman. She's powerful. She's strong. She should be fucking these women up, and she's not. So these no sales are messed up because like Sasha tries, like you alluded to, try to hit the Hurricane Rana off the apron, and Nia didn't sell it, and
Dude,
it looked bad because Sasha's working her ass off. Nia didn't really sell that spot right there. Either she wasn't ready to jump off the apron or the timing just got messed up. Whatever, it looked bad right in that particular case. But with Nia, either she is a dominant force or she ain't. Like when Sasha got her into the bank statement. Nia, power out. You got over 200 pounds on this woman. Power out of that little flimsy bank statement. Stand up and Samoan drop Sasha.
dude, she
But
tapped out in 2 seconds. Like it wasn't even like She didn't even
attempt to fight.
she didn't even tease it. It was just like bank statement, tap tap tap.
It was crazy, but
Yeah.
Sasha Banks will now face Ronda Rousey at Royal Rumble.
Which that should be good. They're gonna put on a hell of a match, and because they're gonna let Ronda, rehearse it more. Ronda hasn't really had anything pay-per-view wise that's been nothing less than a 4-star match, in my opinion. She even got a good match out of Bella Twin, out of Nikki Bella. So I still think that will be really, really good, putting a great worker like Sasha Banks in with Ronda Rousey. So
Well,
I
because
mean,
now you can extend the match. Remember, like 2, 3 of these pay-per-view matches, she's been going against
same thing.
Nia,
Yep.
and Nia can't have a long match. And then the other match was against Alexa Bliss. Alexa can't make a competitive match to Ronda, in my opinion. So,
Yeah, Alexa's not built for wrestling, man. You could just tell she's injured. When she's in the ring, she looks weak. Like again, Sasha Banks is again a more petite, smaller performer, like Alexa. But Sasha Banks' shit looks impactful. It looks like it hurts. Like it looks like she could do some damage. She has a high flying. Alexa just doesn't come off as that way. I really
like
feel
I
like
said,
yeah,
this for me. This should be a good match. I think this will be a really, really, really good Royal Rumble match.
should be very, very good, man. I'm excited to see how they build up to it a little bit more. We get our main event of the evening, and it is the Falls Count Anywhere match for the Intercontinental title that was announced earlier in the show. So it looks like we get this Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose doing a little double duty, and this match was actually what their last pay-per-view match should have been. This was good, bro. This is really, really good. I really, really enjoyed it. We had a little bit of controversy towards the end, man. Dean Ambrose wins this match, but he had the assist from the almighty Bobby Lashley, who came out with Leo Rush to work over Rollins a little bit, man.
Which is great. Best
Which was
part of the night, man.
which is exactly what me and Big Ish have been talking about for months. It's like WWE has been listening to our podcast and taking the great ideas that we have, where we need Lashley to be a dominant force. You can't be 6'4", 275 pounds, and flex. Like you got to be in there. You got to be showing your athleticism. You got to showing that you're a true fighter. Don't let Seth Rollins get away with this stuff. He jumped you in the beginning of the show. He got his comeuppance. I liked it a lot. What did you think about the actual match? And then we could talk about what happened after the match.
All right, so the actual Falls Count Anywhere match was pretty good, man. I enjoyed it. Like it shows what Seth is. Seth is on fire. He comes out on firing on all cylinders on Dean, and Dean was playing defense most of the match, and it looked really good. The offense Seth was showing and basically getting to do, because it's a Falls Count Anywhere, so it's no DQ, weapons, really all type of underhanded things. It was dope. I enjoyed it. And then Dean started coming back, getting the upper hand. And it was a really good match. So I really want to I'll let you talk about what you think. I really want to talk about the Bobby Lashley interference.
Dude, let's just talk about that, man. Let's just roll right into it. I agree with you as far as the match went.
All
Get
right.
on, yeah.
So when Seth was about to win, Seth hit him with everything you hit him with. Hit him with the Falcon Arrow at one point. Hit him with the superplex off the top rope. And then instead of going into the Falcon Arrow, went into the buckle bomb. And then came the patented burning down the head stomp. And right when you think Seth about to retain the title, Bobby Lashley comes out of nowhere, pulls him off, and started beating on your boy the way a heel should. Bobby Lashley is too big not to be dominating folks like Seth exactly the way he just did tonight. We need to see more of Bobby doing that. He beat this boy like he stole something and then let Dean get the win. Now, after Dean got the win, he gets to whooping on Seth again, and then Leo Rush pulls out a table, set it up in the ring. Bobby picks Seth up, slams him through the table. I enjoyed it.
It was really, really good. The high point of the evening for me was seeing Bobby Lashley actually get over as a heel. Lashley sucks. Lashley sucks. And this is kind of what I envisioned, or what we envisioned a couple months ago too. Like, there's no reason that this match shouldn't feel this good. And I'm a huge proponent of, you have your main card title feud, Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar. That's your headliner as far as the championship goes. Mm-hmm. Then you always need something that's still main event, but it's not like Intercontinental title level. So this is your main event level feud where you've got Bobby Lashley and Seth Rollins in an actual meaningful feud that's just a grudge match. It doesn't need to be for a title. It doesn't need to be for anything other than, hey, you beat my ass, or you made me feel bad, or you cut bad promos on me. So I really, really like that they're stacking up the upper card rather than having this take place as the IC title feud. Because when you think about it, both of these superstars are honestly beyond that IC title at this point. So the fact that this is the main card feud, the upper card feud on this, and it's actually meaningful and we actually care about it, and it's closing down the show, I really, really loved it. And I really, really think that this is a start to a really good thing that we got going on here.
I do too, man. And like I said, man, they've been saying fresh faces for everything. So let's go ahead and do that with the IC title. Perfect. It's a perfect title to give but to let someone like Apollo Crews work up to push him to that IC title any way, shape, and form that we got to do it. Then you can even leave Dean on the upper mid card area until he can at some point get his shot at the Universal Championship, which should be way, way down the line, because Finn should have another run too before it's all said and done. There's a lot of people that you need to get in line for, but if it ain't Bryan or McIntyre, I don't think anybody really deserves that Universal title right now. It's got to be Drew. It's got to be Drew McIntyre or Bryan for me.
I agree with this, man. I think we need Braun is the face that should have it, and McIntyre is the heel that should have it. So we're
I'm gonna argue with that.
Yeah,
so
we're agreeing a lot more, man.
But let's not overdo this one. So what you think? What's your grade?
So I'm gonna give it a A-, man. We could do A-, B+. It's the same grade to me, but I really, really enjoyed it. Other than the Nia Jax, Tamina Snuka, Sasha Banks, I like the outcome of that, but there was no real low point. Elias and Corbin, low enough to take a hit on it to make it not perfect, but not bad. So I'm gonna give it a B+.
I'm going to give it a B, only because about 3 matches on there that really didn't float my boat. So I say a B. Overall, it was pretty good. It was a really good Raw. Let me say that. So B, don't trip off me giving it a B. It was just B for me. But it was a really, really good B. So once again, it was your boys, No Jobbers Allowed. Chris, you got anything else?
Dude, I don't got anything else for him, man.
All right, then. Like always, it's been your boy, Big Ish, and with me, like always, was.
Man, it is your guy, Erwin, man, and we out.
We out. Listen to this music.